line was built by the Southern Railway in the early 50s, and it is today operated by Norfolk Southern Corporation. Norfolk Southern is one of two Class 1 railroads that frequent Chattanooga. And this came about by the merging of the Norfolk and Western Railroad with the Southern Railway in 1982. Now we do have another Class 1 railroad that frequents Chattanooga. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Today's rails that we'll be following were originally built in 1859 by the ET&G, the East Tennessee and Georgia Railway. Now the ET&G would merge with a number of railways over the years to become the Southern Railway in 1894. Now if you look to the left of the train as we're traveling out, there's a gravel road down there about 15 feet below us. That gravel road is the actual roadbed from the 1859 right-of-way. Now you're thinking, well, why is that lower than where we are now? Well, in the first decade of the 19th century, CSX came about by the merging of the chassis system with the seaboard system back in 1980. Now, as I mentioned, Georgia does own those tracks today. Sometimes they think they own Neyland Stadium, but that's on a year-to-year basis, depending on who wins the football game. As we travel along, heading towards East Chattanooga on the right-hand side, this industry that you see is Allied Metals. They are actually one of our freight customers, and they're gracious enough to allow us to park some of our excess equipment on their siding. Now this equipment we just don't have room for in our yard at Grand Junction or over at our East Chattanooga yard. And this loading dock you see to the right-hand side, right behind the Southern cabooses, that is where we would spot their boxcars of zinc material. We would have to spot the boxcars up here on the main where we are, go in and then drag out that cut of equipment, bring it out, couple into those boxcars, and then shove it back into the siding.
Generator to create the 600 volts of electricity needed for each traction motor that is on each axle. General purpose locomotives have 2 axles in the front and 2 in the rear. So we have 4 traction motors. Now the second piece of equipment that operates is an air compressor for the brake system. Now, Interesting enough, it's a backwards thinking on this. With the air applied, the brakes are on. I'm sorry, the brakes are off. When the air is removed from the system, the brakes come on. And that's because of derailments. If the locomotive is separated from the consist, they want the consist to stop, so the brakes will come on without the air in place. It moves off the reservoir tanks. Now what we're going to do here, Jason is going to turn the table to track 2. We pulled in and situated ourselves on track 1. When we reach track 2, Jason's going to climb on the locomotive and head on down to do the runaround. I believe we are putting our steam engine on for the return trip. So he's actually going to take the locomotive and we'll do some switching, and they're going to back center 4501 onto our train. And we will be returning to Grand Junction under steam power.
Folks, we're heading back to Grand Junction under steam power. Now, as we exit the yard, you'll notice on the right-hand side of the train a few truck assemblies. You'll see 3-axle assemblies, which are basically for heavyweight coaches. And also, you'll see some 2-axle assemblies. Those would be for lightweight coaches. Now, also, you'll spot 2-axle assemblies that are really full in the middle. Well, those are for diesel electric locomotives. Those are the traction motors. And also on the yellow trailer is a traction motor assembly. So that we have 4 of those assemblies under our locomotive. That's on the yellow trailer as we pass by on the right-hand side. Now you'll notice as we pull away that the steam engine has a different delivery of moving the train forward. Yeah, we're still going forward, but you've got a little chug action going on, and you can feel it in the train as we travel. So that's just an experience that was an everyday occurrence in the early 20th century.